Hi, everyone. I am Donna Reed, and this is Donna Reed Talks Voice. And today I will be working with Diego. Hi, Diego.
Hello.
Diego's in Spain right now. And Diego, this is the first time I've actually met him at all. Will you introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about yourself, what kind of music you sing, what you do?
Well, hello everyone. I'm Diego and I'm from Spain. I trained in New York, but I've lived ever since here back in Spain. I'm an musical theater actor, and that's mostly what I do. Musicals like from very different styles, going from Les Mis to Beauty and the Beast, Anastasia, or Priscilla Queen of the Desert. And right now I'm in Kinky Boots. So all these different kinds of sounds I've been having to do in my career so far.
Wonderful. So, as I said, I've not met you before, but I'm guessing doing Kinky Boots, it has to be pretty aggressive with the chest voice, and it has to be, pretty energetic and all of that. So, we may see where that is going, address that, and see how we
Okay.
get through with that.
All
But
right. Great.
first of all, I just have to see where is your voice at, what are you doing, what's going on, and we'll just take it from there. The only thing you need to do is just respond to the exercise and see what comes out. No judgment, no anything. We're just see where we're at. Now, the first thing that I always do with everybody, is I have them exhale, inhale as you bring your arms up, and then exhale. Do that 2, 3 times just to get the air flowing.
Okay.
And just notice that the rib cage is expanding and then the air is flowing out without being pushed. It looks like you're not pushing. That's great. Again, the air comes in, the air flows out. Beautiful. One more time. Good. I'm not even going to ask you about your philosophies about breathing and this, that, and the other thing. I'm not even going to get into that. You do whatever you do. But right now, just getting the air flowing in and the air flowing out is good for everybody, right? Just get it all flowing. Now, we're going to see what's going on with the falsetto because I always like to start in the falsetto. And I know it's later in the day for you, so your voice is already, you've been using your voice. It's morning here. If you were here and it was morning as it is, I would really emphasize more the falsetto. But you've been speaking all day. Have you been singing today at all?
No, I was just it's a holiday here, so I just walked around, had a chat, had a nice lunch and nap, and then I got ready for you. So
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. So I'm just getting the raw voice, not being warmed up. Good. And whether that's the case or not, I always start in the falsetto, but especially because I don't know your voice, I want to see what the falsetto's doing. So those 3 notes with a falsetto, ooh, real easy, ooh, ooh. Okay, a little tight, huh?
yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to do it a different way. I'm going to start it actually a little lower. Don't worry about falsetto or chest voice. I
Okay.
want you to do it with the ooh, but I want you to do it with a G and an ooh, goo, goo, goo. So you're going to do very quietly, goo, 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 3 times. Don't even worry about what comes out. Quiet and easy. Okay, now that's great, but you did that down the octave here.
Oh, okay. Sorry, sorry. Goo 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 goo.
Good. Just like that, exactly. Now, would you call that a falsetto, a mix? What does
Mm,
it feel like? Is it kind of chesty, kind of falsetto-y, all falsetto-y?
it would be kind of like a mix. If I wanted to go for like a soft sound in somewhere not very high but not very low, somewhere like some warmy sound, I would go for that. Like goo, I would
Yes.
go
Okay, that's how I hear it. I hear it as a mix. It's not really a falsetto per se, but it's a mix. Fine, that's great. You're going to start with that mix. We're going to go higher. The only thing I ask you to do is allow it to change. So
for.
don't expect that that same mix is going to, as we go higher, that is going to be there as you go higher. Just let it do whatever. You just know you're going goo, 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 and it's real kind of hooty. Be surprised. Same thing.
Goo. Goo 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 goo.
but three times.
Goo 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 goo.
Good. And as I said, as we go higher, just let it go somewhere else and take plenty of air because it's higher. You'll need a little more air.
Goo 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 goo.
And let me know if anything feels tight.
All right. Goo 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 goo. It feels a little tight at the top note, but I'm
Okay,
okay.
I hear that. There's a little bit of something that wants to grab. I'm actually going to go higher because even though that top note had a little bit of a grab, when you go higher, I'm thinking it might flip over and do something else. It might
Mhm,
not, but
mhm.
let's try it.
Goo 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 goo.
And just indulge me here a little bit. It's a little bit better, right?
It's much better.
Okay.
It's so much better than 5 minutes ago. Like I feel no, like
No
I could
tension.
go, and also it feels like the sound is going a different way. Like it's going this way instead of this way.
Yeah. And what you're feeling is, of course, the resonance adjustment and the vibrations, that one feels when we sing. And everybody feels that differently. You're feeling it that particular way. But what the way you describe that, what that indicates to me is that the vocal cords are doing something else. Because they're doing something else, they're giving you that different kind of vibrational feel. And this something else I can hear, I'm sure our listeners can hear, is definitely freer. So
Mm,
the vocal cords, instead of having that little grab, they're not.
mm.
Well, it's not the vocal cords per se, but the musculature around the vocal cords, instead of grabbing, is not. It's going somewhere else. So we're going to try higher, see where it wants to go. Good, good.
See, I started it differently. Let me try again.
Okay. Yeah, good for you. That's great awareness because the way you started it before was a little bit more like the lower ones.
Right?
And because it's kind of in between, it wasn't quite that higher falsetto guy, but it wasn't quite the lower ones either. So then it was a little confused. So then you said, "Oh no, wait a minute, that's confused. I'm going to aim it the other way." Brilliant move on your part. Let's go higher and see what happens. Okay, and I'm going to stop at that one for the moment. That's a little on the higher side. But you notice how this is definitely more of a falsetto. And it's not the same mix that we started out with that very first note. Now, here's the trick. We're going to start there. What I want you to do is this same mix if you can. Now, the chest voice is going to want to come in, but right now, don't let it come in. See if you can keep this mix. Good. And to keep this mix, you really have to hold back. You can't give it any pressure or volume. Same here. Good. Easy on the bottom one. Be careful. It sounded like you ran out of air.
A little bit, yeah.
Okay, so be careful. If you run out of air, just stop. Because in running out of air, but wanting to finish the phrase, there was a little bit of a grab. So that's it. Great. And really hold back the volume. Good. Now, how do all of those feel?
It feels quite free. It's a bit disturbing on your mind because it's not the way I would sing those notes, but it feels free and kind of easy. I run out of air easily there with those notes. Maybe
Yes,
that's
of
something I
course you
need
will.
to. Maybe there's something I need to look at, but that's all.
I will explain that. I'm glad you brought that up. No, it's nothing that you did at all. Because it was more falsetto and because the vocal cords weren't close together the way they are with a chest voice, of course you ran out of air. So the lower falsetto is weak. It's a little on the breathy side. You'll run out of air. That's totally normal. But you brought up a very good point. These are not the sounds that you would sing with. Of course not. Of course, these aren't aesthetically what you need to sing with. Even if you're singing softly, it needs to have a little bit more of a mix. But the important thing about these sounds that we did just now is what we want to do is when you sing notes, we want to make sure that there's no tension, especially in the warm up. Now, when we first did it and you started to do it with the mix that you normally do, there's a little bit of a grab. Now, if it didn't grab, I wouldn't even address it. I'd say, oh, these are fine, don't worry about it. But because of the grab, I set up the conditions to get the vocal cords to be a little bit more on that falsetto side and then bring that falsetto down just so that you sang those same notes with no grab whatsoever. So that's the key in the warm up process. So you always want to be able to separate this falsetto guy, make sure he's free, make sure that that's getting those vocal cords going, because this sound, what it does is it stretches the vocal cords. And when you sing higher, of course, you need the vocal cords to be stretched, but we want them to be stretched without the negative tension. So,
Gotcha.
you know what it's like? It's like when you run a marathon or when you run or when you dance or when you do whatever, you need to stretch your hamstrings a little bit. But the act of stretching the hamstrings is not anything that you would do on a stage in the dance or in the running. So that's what we're doing here. We're stretching that little cricothyroid muscle that pulls that thyroid cartilage forward and down and stretches the vocal cords. That sound, stretching the cricothyroid that way, relates to this falsetto sound. Brilliant. Now, forget about that because now obviously we're going to go into chest voice. Those three notes with plain old ah, any old way you want to do it. Ah.
Ah,
Yep.
ah, 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 ah.
Now, how do all of those feel?
I don't know, normal, like I don't know, but I don't know, full, easy.
Exactly. Exactly. I'm just getting, that's how I hear it. I hear that they're easy. There they are. You know, there's, I don't hear any kind of a big grab.
Like I had no problem going to the top note to come down. I don't know, easy, yeah.
Exactly. Exactly. Now, I do, however, want to refine it a little bit because those are
Nice.
easy. That's good, but I want to refine it. We're going to do the whole octave. You're going to start with the top note, but I'm going to have you start with an F. So you're going to do fa, 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 fa. The reason I'm doing that is I want to make sure you get a little bit of an airflow for each note. And what you were doing was fine, and that was wonderful. It wasn't as if you were doing ah or having any kind of a glottal. But I think that little bit of a fa, fa, fa is going to make it a little easier, a little bit smoother for you. But let's see. Maybe I'm wrong. So fa, 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 fa. Give it a try.
Fa 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 fa.
Oh, you're right there. Do the same thing with a little more energy. So make sure you take enough air, little bit more energy on that top note, and then try it again.
Fa 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 fa.
That was different.
Yeah.
Yeah. How did that feel?
It felt courageous. It felt brave. It felt like I really wanted to go there. I really trusted your exercise. Yeah.
There you go. There you go. Now I'm going to go higher with this. Now you're going to do the same thing. What happens when we go higher, I'm going to pre-warn you. We all, first of all, and especially because this is being recorded, you want it to sound good, you want good things to happen. So as we go higher, we're going to go because like, okay, it's higher. Is it going to go there? Is it going to go there? I don't know. I don't know. We don't care. Just remember the process. The process is don't forget to breathe because as we do a sequence, everybody forgets to breathe because of that little anxiety of, oh, I want it to sound good. Just breathe. Remember the F, fa, and that air will help you. If somehow it doesn't work as efficiently as we want, I promise you I will fix it. So, so just take a breath, that same courageous fa, 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 and then we'll keep going half step higher and expect it to do something else. So don't
Okay.
try to put each one in the same place.
All right. Fa 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 fa.
Exactly. Just breathe and sing.
Fa 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 fa. Fa 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 fa. Fa 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 fa.
Now, how was that one? Was it
There was
free?
yeah, there was something different in the top note. Like it wanted to go somewhere else, and I was forcing it to stay in the same. I don't know, and it felt a bit
Okay.
crackier. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I heard wasn't quite as free as the other guys, but, and you said it exactly, it wants to go somewhere else. I'm going to actually go a half step higher. Let it go somewhere else. Now,
Okay.
that somewhere else, maybe more falsetto. That's okay. Doesn't have to be full on voice.
Okay. La fa fa fa. Hmm.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. There's a little bit of a grab in that. Doesn't quite flip over the way it needs to. I'm going to try one more. Again, let it be more false.
Okay. Fa 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 fa.
That's better. See, that was freer, right?
Yeah.
Now, that was definitely more false. It wasn't as much chest voice.
Correct. And I'm guessing your perception of the sound is like it's cleaner, but it's still full. But I
Yes.
feel it, but I feel it more false than the other one. So I need to get my brain used to that sound, even if it feels more false, it sounds okay.
Yeah, absolutely sounds okay. Now, that being said, yes, it can have a little bit more chest voice in it, especially for the stuff you have to sing, which I will do in a moment. We'll get more chest voice in there. But I want to go a little bit higher with this idea. Now,
Mhm.
as we go higher with the false idea that feels and sounds false to you, make sure it's bright.
All right. Fa 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 fa.
Okay, I'll tell you right off the bat, I'm going to change the vowel, which is going to help you with this because that's going in the right direction. Instead of an ah, you're going to do an ah. So do
Okay.
fa. So fa, 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 and make sure it's very bright and actually kind of obnoxious sounding.
Okay. Fa 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 fa. Woo. Okay. That
And
was
what
very
do you
different.
notice?
Yeah, that was weird. All right.
Of course it was weird. Yep. Now I'm debating here whether to get rid of the F and use a G, which actually might help. All right, I'm going to do that. Instead of a fa, you're going to do a ga, but you're going to aim for that same bright, kind of false, weird idea. So ga, 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 ga. Again, let it be obnoxious and be committed.
Ga 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 ga.
Oh, now I love those guys on the bottom. We're going to do it this way. So you're going to go fast with it and just do ga, ga, ga. Now, the top note, because we're coming from the bottom going up, is probably going to do something differently than it just did. You just do ga, 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 ga. Emphasize that top note. Let it be broad and obnoxious.
Ga 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 ga.
Okay, you hear how that top guy's still a little like he doesn't know where to go? That's fine. Let it not know where to go. You just hear the pitches and you let it do its thing.
Ga 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 ga.
There you go.
Ga 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 ga.
Even better.
Ga 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 ga.
Yeah, that's easier, isn't it?
Yep. Ga 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 ga.
Yeah, let it be weird.
Ga 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 ga. Ga 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 ga.
Now, it's a little out of tune, which I don't mind, just as long as it's not tight. And I'll tell you why it's out of tune. Obviously, you have a great ear, you're doing shows, that's fine. It has nothing to do with that. It has to do with the muscles recoordinating. So allow it to just be weird, allow it to be out of tune. It doesn't matter.
Ga 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 ga.
Even better.
Ga 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 ga.
Yeah.
Ga 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 ga.
Yeah.
Ga 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 ga.
Try that one again. That top note wants to do something differently. Just really just think the ga ga ga, give it a lot of energy, see what happens.
Ga 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 ga. Ga 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 ga. Ga 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 ga.
Now, again, what happened that's similar to what happened a couple back. What's happening there is more chest voice wants to come in.
Mm-hmm.
So then when that happened on the one before, you switched it and it was a little bit more falsetto, which is fine. What
Mm-hmm.
happens if you let that chest voice come in? But that chest voice is kind of in the falsetto place, if that makes any sense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It does. It does.
All right, so give it a shot.
Ga 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 ga. Ga 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 ga.
There you go.
Ga 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 ga.
There it is.
Ga 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 ga.
Yes. Now those added more falsetto, I mean, excuse me, chest voice, and those were definitely freer and felt easier, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
What happens if you do that ga 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 and you hold that top note?
Okay.
Ga 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 ga.
Ga 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 ga.
Yes. How did that feel?
It feels good. It feels great. It feels light. It feels really, really good. Really good.
It's interesting that you say it feels light because out here it's a big sound.
I know.
That's great. So light meaning not heavy, not constricted, not, that you're struggling to do it.
No, yeah, and also it's great that it feels light on my lower, on like a lower. It's not super low, but it's a lower register. Because usually it's I don't know. I tend to like put weight on my lower
Sure, everybody
register.
does.
Also, because my spoken voice is kind of low, so kind of to like to make them the same, my singing voice and my speaking voice. But it gets heavier on my vocal cords, and it gets them tired more easily. So.
Absolutely. I'm already just assuming that you sing tenor, right?
I sing baritone. Like I'm very versatile, so like I sing both.
Okay.
Uh, it depends. I'm not a super high tenor, but like I have both worlds, so that's why
Okay.
I'm able to like flip into shows easy.
And just switch around like that, which is great. Now, especially because you sing that, um, uh, you have to really keep that upper side going and keep this lightness, even if you're singing the baritone, because you have to
Right.
remember baritone in musical theater is not like baritone in opera. You don't have to
Exactly.
get the thing going on. It still has to be on that upper side, which we're doing right now. Let's keep going a little bit higher with this and see where it wants to go, and you hold it a little bit on top and come back down.
And three times fast. Sorry, remind me.
Ga, 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 and then you hold it and then down.
Ga 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 ga
Exactly, exactly.
ga 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 ga.
Now this next guy, again, think falsetto, but it's not falsetto,
All right.
but it kind of is. So it's kind of chest voice in the falsetto place. I mean, that makes no sense, but just kind of think that.
Right. Ga 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 ga.
Good. You hear that on top?
Mm-hmm.
Wonderful. Now, the chest voice in the falsetto place keeps exaggerating itself on that top note. The bottom notes you don't even have to worry about. You're doing just great with them. And keep that energy going.
Ga 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 ga.
There you go. How does that feel?
Easy. Yeah. Really good.
Easy, right? We're going to try a couple more, just see where it goes and be surprised.
Ga 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 ga.
Now that needs to have a little bit more on that falsetto side.
All right.
So this is a weird little transition note. It needs to really emphasize that upper. So I'll tell you what I want you to think. I
Okay.
want you to do the same thing, gag, 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 down there. I want you to make the brightest falsetto you can possibly do.
All right.
But don't put it where you think the falsetto should be. Just say, I'm going to do a bright falsetto because I don't know what you're going to feel. It might
Okay.
feel, I don't know what it's going to do.
Ga 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 ga.
Wasn't quite falsetto, right?
Nope. Can I try again?
Yeah, well, but the thing is, it was closer to where we're going.
Oh,
So in
okay.
other words, when because it wasn't still as free as we wanted to be, but it was better than the one before. Now, the reason I give you that directive to think you're going into a bright falsetto is because even though I said I didn't know what was going to happen, I had an idea what was going to happen. So what normally happens is that I'll ask a male student to think, okay, go into a bright falsetto. They go into what they think is a bright falsetto, but then it's chest voice. So
Mm-hmm.
you have to kind of fool the mechanism. The brain has to fool the mechanism into saying, you're just doing a falsetto. And then the chest voice says, oh, now I can come in. But if you think chest voice, it's going to go to what you think a chest voice is.
Yeah. Okay.
So again, you just think the brightest falsetto you can possibly do. And you're right. It's when you said lighter, lighter is also kind of quote unquote higher. It's like up there somewhere. It's like going away somewhere. It's like flying away somewhere. Not a placement thing, but it's doing something else. Give it a
Mm-hmm.
shot.
Ga 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 ga.
Okay, almost. I'm going to help you with this. Your approach is perfect. What you're doing here with the notes and everything. Let me see. I can do this one of two ways. I'm going to do it this way. I'm going to have you exhale. Inhale as you bring your arms up. Keep your arms up, and then you're going to sing the exercise.
All right.
Take your time with the breath.
Ga 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 ga.
Oh, slightly better, right?
No, no, much better. Well, on this side, much better. I don't know.
Much better. Oh, okay. I would still like a little bit more of the upper harmonics in that top note,
All
but
right.
that felt better in the throat, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll tell you what. I was going to have you do another thing with your body, but I'm going to have you do the same thing. All I want you to do for this next one is approach it exactly the same way, breathe the same way. But I want you to hear, in fact, I'm going to play the upper octave. I want you just to hear the upper harmonics. Do
Mm-hmm.
everything you just did the same way. Don't try to put it in the same place. Just follow the same procedure and hear the upper harmonics.
Okay. Ga 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 ga.
And that one even had vibrato.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the other ones did not.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
Brilliant.
I dare to like stay there and I don't know. Because I felt comfortable, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah. Now, if you had to guess, what is that high note?
Hmm. That is like an A.
It's an A flat.
Not too bad.
Not so bad, exactly. Exactly, right? Now, I'm going to keep going down now with it. Same approach. You're going to breathe the same way. You're going to do all of that, hear the upper harmonics, and see what comes out. Now, when
Okay.
you breathe in, as you bring your arms up, keep your mouth open. So
Okay.
breathe out, then breathe in, and then sing the ga, 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 ga. And let's see, again, you keep thinking bright falsetto, hear the upper harmonics, see what comes out.
I'm sorry. Ga 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 ga.
Exhale, inhale, take your time.
Ga 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 ga. Ga 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 ga. Ga 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 ga. Ga 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 ga.
could you do that one again? And all of these are great. All of them were vibrating. They were straight and then they vibrated straight. Can you let that one vibrate?
Sure, sure, sure. Ge, 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 ge.
Yeah.
Ge, 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 ge.
Good, good, good. So once we got to the G, especially the F sharp F, those were really, really free and good. So the G, the A flat, they were not bad. We could get them a little bit freer. They could be a little bit freer, but they're going absolutely in the right direction. Now, let's see after doing all of that. I'm going to stay with the ga, 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 ga. And we're going to do that very bright falsetto that we did in the beginning of the lesson. So totally let it go somewhere else. Ga, 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 and let everything move and get that bright, 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 bright sound. Good. Good. And take your time with the in breath. Let it be really expansive. Good. Now go back to this one. This is going to be just what we were doing before, the full voice. I'm going to have you exhale, inhale, all of that. But do you hear that bright ah, ah, ah that you were just doing in the falsetto?
Mm-hmm.
I want you to literally let that sound happen on the top note.
All right.
So ga, 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 let it switch to that bright falsetto guy.
Okay.
And let it be weird. Let it break. Let it go. Let it be weird. Breathe the same way. Mouth open, arms up.
Ga, 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 ga.
Now, did you hear how that wasn't quite a falsetto?
It wasn't. I know. I'm a liar. I'm a cheater. I don't know. I don't know. I was trying to put it in the same place.
Now, why did you say you're a liar and a cheater?
Because I always try to like I run away from false. I try to I don't know deliver. I don't know. I don't know how to say it better.
No, I get it. I know exactly.
I try to like give my best, and sometimes my best is just messing it up. But uh, yeah.
So, in other words, it's not even your best or not your best. I mean, obviously, you have a good voice. That's clear, but it's the fallacy, the mistaken notion that all male, well, even females with the belting, that you need more chest voice than you do. So what we did here, and we could smooth it over a little bit, it wasn't as smooth as it could be, but when you got to that top note, and once you held the top note, that's a full-blown top note up there. But you had to get it, which I was trying to do the other way with the previous lesson. You had to get it through absolutely being convinced that you're aiming for a falsetto and for that bright A falsetto. Now, by literally aiming for that bright A falsetto, you got a very different mix. And that's why these guys are elusive, because you don't know what that mix is. You know what the falsetto guy is, you know what the chest voice guy is, but these in between ones, they're the ones like, whoa, what is that? I don't know what that is. I don't even know where to put that. See, that's why, as I always say, placement doesn't really work, because you don't know where to place that, but your ear can go for the sound and you can set up the conditions to get you there. Now, that was that same A flat.
Oh, wow.
Exactly. Now that's where that A flat needs to go. Now the G is going to be slightly different. F sharp's going to be different. There's going to be definitely more chest voice on the way down there. But if you want to get that A flat and above, which I think you have in your voice, obviously, it needs to go toward that bright, bright, bright a falsetto guy.
Agreed.
And do you see how that works that way?
Yeah, it works. It works really well. It's just also, yeah, telling my brain that that is a legitimate sound. which we also
Absolutely
don't feel like it is because
correct.
whatever, culture, whatever.
Exactly. So, what I tell my students, and what's a good thing to do once you start getting into these mixes, what I tell them is to record themselves when they sing it and then listen back. And I will tell you, almost every time they say, I would have sworn that I couldn't sing with that, it was too false. And when I listened back, it wasn't false. Now,
Agreed.
this was a little bit of a break. You could hear that shift and we can smooth that over. That's fine. But that's in the right direction. That's definitely going to the mix you need to go. I was going to leave it there because I wanted to leave it with that note, but I'm going to have you do it again.
Okay.
Because now remember the process. It's
Hmm.
absolutely the process. Don't try to put it in the same place. You know how you're breathing. You're doing that beautifully. You know that the bottom gag, gag, gas are chest voice. And you know you are absolutely aiming for that bright, bright falsetto. Literally that bright falsetto guy. And who knows where it's going to go. So gag, 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 gag. Hold it a little bit and back down. Breathe the same way. Don't even try to do it right. Let this not work. Let it be the worst thing you've ever sung.
Okay. Ge- 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 ge.
Now that had more chest voice in it.
Mm,
Not quite as free as that mix.
correct. Let me do it again, please.
Okay, and it really has to shift a lot more.
Yeah.
Let it be a totally false note that you would never believe that you could sing in your life.
All right.
So can you really let it flip over
I'll try. I'll
to
try.
something very false? And again, it may not work, which is okay.
Ge- 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 ge. Ge- ge- ge. Oh yeah.
Yes, good for you for hanging on to that guy because it found its way. Now that lightened up, went over to something else, and that's still a full sound. But that's a
Nice.
full
Yeah.
sound without the heaviness.
Got it.
Good for you for hanging on to it because I'll tell you, especially this is our first lesson. You've never worked with me. A lot of guys will, women too, when I work the belt with them, they'll get that, and they'll say, oh my God, I can't do that. Yeah, you can. Let the muscles figure it out.
Yeah, got it. Got it. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Now,
Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Brilliant.
Super interesting. Thank you.
Yeah, and when especially when you do something like Kinky Boots that's got a lot of that that
I'm
kind of
there. Yeah, I'm actually there all the time. Like in London, I'm alive. I'm there all the
yeah.
time.
And if you want this sound, because you could sing that 8 shows a week and it's like you're doing nothing. But on the inside, when guys first start doing this, they think, oh, it's too false. I can't sing with that. Yeah, you totally can sing with that.
It's actually the only way to like keep it up eight times a week. Actually, it's the only
Absolutely.
way.
Absolutely. Well, that was brilliant. Thank you so much for doing this.
Thank you. My pleasure.
Thanks for watching Donna Reed Talks Voice. If you have any questions for me about this episode, or if you'd like to join me on a future episode, please visit donnareedtv.com and click Contact.